A local couple was shocked this week when they picked their dogs up from a supposed dog trainer. The dogs certainly did not come back in the condition they left. News 2's Macy McLeod has more on this story. Tough to watch, Macy.
That's right, Brendan. I want you to meet Frank and Jesse, 2-year-old dogs who were a little hyper and needed some training. So their owners sent them away to a dog trainer upstate for 8 weeks. Now, Frank and Jesse went from being, as you can see, healthy dogs to this. They were starved and dehydrated, and the vet is saying they haven't eaten in weeks.
You just can't imagine that somebody would walk past any kind of living creature and see that they're suffering and just not give them the basic things that they need to survive.
Travis and Christy Davis say they hired William Lyle Wilson to train their dogs after finding him on Craigslist.
My wife walks them and she can't control them because they're so big and they are very hyper, so we were just hoping that they would be able to obey basic commands. The pictures that he had online were from another company that he had worked for, and they were of him training the dogs sitting, laying, and it looked legit.
They say Wilson lives in the Upstate in the town of Donalds. He came to Charleston to pick up the dogs, told the Davises they would be done in 6 weeks, and he would send pictures throughout the process. He was supposed to come down and teach us what we're supposed to do to continue the training. And he texted me back, he said, "I'm sorry, I had some issues come up. I haven't got to socialize them as much as I'd like to. I would like another 2 weeks." After 2 more weeks, he said the dogs still were not ready, and pictures never came through. After 8 weeks total, the Davises demanded their dogs back, meeting Wilson at a gas station to pick them up. As I got closer, I started noticing their ribs, and I noticed their hips. It was very upsetting to see. I knew if I started saying something to him that it was going to escalate very quickly, and I didn't want that. So we decided to part ways. Each dog had lost over 10 pounds. The vet saying they hadn't had anything to eat or drink in weeks. They drank water for about a day and a half, and then finally after a day and a half, they started eating. I reached out to William Lyle Wilson over the phone. He confirmed that he had promised to train the Davises' dogs and agreed to an interview, then hung up the phone and hasn't answered my calls since. I also spoke to the obedience school Wilson used to work for. They told me he was fired 2 years ago and legally couldn't tell me why, but said it was for, quote, obvious reasons. My concern was if he got 2 more weeks with them, I don't think they'd be alive. Travis says he is speaking out to make sure this doesn't happen to someone else. All I want is this guy to not be able to do this ever again. I don't want anyone to feel the way that I felt sending my dogs, who are our kids, to get mistreated. I basically paid someone to abuse my animals, and that hurts a lot. The vet says Frank and Jesse should get back to their normal weight in about a month. There is no mandatory licensing or regulations for dog trainers in the state of South Carolina. So the Charleston Animal Society and legitimate trainers recommend going to see the facility for yourself, checking references and looking up reviews of the company online before hiring any dog trainer. Macy McLeod, News 2.